welcome back to another episode of Procrastination Podcast. We're talking about anime life and everything in between. I'm Matt,
I'm Robert.
I'm Alonzo.
and we're back at it again with another episode that might get us canceled, but I hope not. But we're gonna try something a little bit different this time in case it looks a little different on you guys in. So we'll see how it goes. Um, but before all that, how's everybody doing today? How's the day been?
Day has been good, man. Very productive day. Not living up to the namesake. Not procrastinating at all. Having, uh, you know, cut my grass this morning. Well, not this morning. It was the middle of the day. It was super hot. I shouldn't have done that. I swear I was like this close to passing out at some point. Man, you know what? I should be done. I'm done. I'm just gonna stop here. Quit while I'm ahead. No, I put on a mask this time because I don't like, I like have allergies and don't like it feeling, awful. So then wanted to see if that would make it not feel as bad, and it did, but it made it very hard to breathe, or at least seemingly so when you have hot air blowing back into your face the whole time. So it just wasn't too super fun, but cut the grass, and I am very happy about that. And then we had a very serious conversation about the podcast, and that was even better, you know.
Yeah.
So that's good. Productive day, very productive day, I think.
How about you, Alonzo?
Well, first off, I gotta say, wake up, wake up, wake up. It's the first of the month, so get up, get up, get up. Catch your chest and come on. All right. Anyway. Yeah, it is July 1st, first of the month. Oh, boy. We out here past June, past the halfway month of the year. Now it's about to get hot, heavy, get loaded up on work and all that stuff. This week, I ain't really do much of anything. Just work and go home and exercise and do all that crap. But today, not much of anything. Thankfully, just slept in bed, woke up, didn't do a goddamn thing. So I'm happy about that.
That's your American right.
Exactly.
What that is. Yeah. That's what that is. But I mean, yeah, I did some work in the morning. Woke up, did some work, and then I just went out for a little bit just to get some fresh air. First time in a while. It was definitely hot. So I don't know why you were cutting grass midday, and if you fainted, no one to blame yourself. No one else to blame. And do not call me because I'm off the clock. I'm off the clock.
Here's how I do want to blame you, though. Right? So you told me to start working out, right? You said this is what we're doing for your birthday, Matt. Working every day for 30 days, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, but you know what? It's giving me this like weird like confidence that I'm like, oh, I can deal with some amount of physical stress now. I can. I'm like, I've been on my exercise bike, been grinding, and now I get outside and I'm just like, this ain't nothing compared to being on the exercise bike for an hour. I could go out there and cut the grass. And then I'm super overly confident, and then I start breathing heavy, and I'm just like, oh no, this is a different kind of death. Oh,
hey, 30 days ago, you would have actually passed out.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
I've been giving out already.
Bossed up. So I'm just saying, it's good for you. It's good for you. But don't keep pushing your luck though. Heat stroke is real out here.
I had a water bottle right on me. Keep it on me.
keep the water bottle on. I keep it on my side. On my hip. But also, if anyone ever sees this man doing yard work, it is the greatest get up of all of history. It is the most uncle doing yard work get up I've ever seen in my life, and it's freaking phenomenal.
Let's see if I can find it. No, I want to dox myself. I'm not going to dox myself. Showing me a weird ass thing.
Bro, it's so great. It's so great. It made my day when I saw it. But Yeah, good day all in all. You know, almost a year older, so happy I made it another year almost. Some good things going on this year, good things planned for this year and coming years. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, good things planned for today. This topic today. Um, our topic today is red flags in anime and in life, usually as it pertains to the opposite sex. So we may lose some viewers today. No, I don't think we will, but I think it's a good topic, interesting topic. I think there's always things that, again, it's all about preferences. Some things that are red flags for some people are green flags for others. And that's fine. You know, everyone has to have their own things, their own preferences, and that is okay. We here at Procrastination Podcast are okay with everyone's flags, no matter if they're red or green or yellow. But I'm just saying these are red flags for anime and for life. And I think mine are pretty fair. So I don't know. We'll see what you guys think. I don't know, but I think it's pretty good. I think it's a pretty good all in all topic. I know y'all had some trouble reading up for this for a little bit though. I don't know. Did y'all get some good stuff figured out?
Yeah, I'm like I am only I'm trying to not be as passionate about the things I hate. Um and so
What does that mean?
I'm not gonna get passionate today. I am just gonna say this is a red flag for anime, and I'm not even gonna yell. I'm just gonna be super calm about it and be like, "Yep, I don't like this in anime," and that's it. That's the thing. And same with with women, right? Not even gonna say any real life stories about traumas that I have, and not even gonna do that. I'm just gonna I'm just gonna be real chill about it today.
This man's getting ready to go Super Saiyan. Oh my gosh, man. But you figured some stuff out, Alonzo. I hope.
Oh yeah, I figured some
Since
stuff
we're doing
out.
this,
Anime,
nice.
I have some mental hangups with some anime, so got to work those out. And then for women, you know, I wouldn't say I deserve to have red flags. I'm not a prize catcher, like I keep saying. You know, to paraphrase Samuel Jackson, I deserve to die, and I hope I burn in hell.
Mm-hmm.
But
Oh my gosh.
for the content, America, I have some red flags for you that I think will tell my story pretty good.
Okay. I don't know how we could better segue into it than that, but shall we get started? Because I think in general, but before, I guess I was going to make some general phrase. I think again, people get hung up on people's red flags, and like you know, a red flag is what it sounds like, right? It's a signal of caution and to potentially stop, right? So it doesn't necessarily mean that it has to stay a red flag. Also doesn't mean that it has to be like a deal breaker per se in any sort of situation. So sometimes red flags can turn green or turn yellow, it can happen. So I think sometimes people get hung up on like, oh, that's a red flag. And then it's like, that's a hard stop. Red flag does not necessarily mean hard stop. It just means time to consider some things, to look at this with a bigger, broader lens instead of the narrow scope that you're looking at it currently. So if I am looking at an anime and I'm like, oh, this anime is this, and I get a red flag as the anime, it's like, okay, maybe I need to revisit some of the things I saw earlier in this anime and their significance as it pertains to this red flag. And the same thing with people. I mean, in general, in life, you may see red flags. You're like, okay, but maybe the things in the past have shown you that maybe this red flag is more of a yellow flag, or maybe it's things in the past you've seen like, maybe those were yellow flags, and I thought they were no flags at all, and now I'm seeing that those were my lead up to this red flag, sort of thing. So I do think that it is a natural thing for people to have these red flags, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it is like a hard stop on watching whatever you're watching or stopping associating with whatever person you're associating with per se. So I wanted to say that at much at least.
Okay. Okay. Uh, who's starting?
you are starting. You should start.
Okay.
You're the center of my screen, so I want you to start.
Well, I guess the first thing I want to talk about, I guess we said anime first, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So the first one I wanted to talk about is, it's an easy one. A child main character. So a character that is younger than 12 as the main character.
Okay.
They end up always making it a point to let everyone know that like they're really young and they're gonna be put in situations where they shouldn't be, and it's gonna be nasty. So I'm just like, I don't want that. I don't want I'm watching something recently, called the what is it called, the aristocrat, sorcerer's aristocrat, something like that.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
And I want to find it and make sure I get the exact name of this piece of shit. Is the Aristocrats Outerworldly Adventure, and it's awful, but it's also awful because the main character is a child, and that's his main thing. You know, like, I'm young and I can do these crazy fantasy things, and I'm like, okay, is that like, is that what an anime makes? You know,
Right.
A child, the anime, like,
Right.
I don't know, I don't see, I don't see there being a reason for that. So and there's a bunch of examples that I was like, okay, this character in this anime is also a child, and you know, like, it's not great. I'm like, Promise Neverland, that's a one that, like, I mean, they're all children, and it is done well, so surprisingly, but you know, you see how that second season turned out, so maybe it's good that I have this a red flag for now. So,
Right.
yeah, that was my first
one. Yeah, I figured you'd say something like that. I think Jordan would agree with you on that, especially when it comes to jobless reincarnation. That was actually the first. Yeah. That was the first, which, again, Jobless is really good, honestly. But would it have been as good or better if the character was 17, 16? Probably. You know, that probably would have been fine and would have made a lot more of the situations a lot less sketchy. And I'm sure that's kind of Jordan's main. I mean, in general, I think, yes, it's always weird, and they do that. They do tend to do that more with like these younger characters. Even like, what's that show? The guy who gets like the maid in the recent one that just came out was like something about his maid being super awesome or something, and he's like a kid, and he keeps getting put in these suggestive situations. Like this, maid is mysterious. Yes, and he keeps putting these like suggestive situations with like a maid. I'm assuming she's probably like at least
like 35,
15, 20 years older than him. Yeah, right. Like at least 15 or 20 years older than him is what I'm saying. And like, you know, it's weird. It's weird. I'm like, it's weird. You know, I get it. You know, you want to add these elements into your anime because it, like, you know, gets people to. I mean, it gets people to watch. Sex sells, sort of thing. Appeal, those sort of things sells, and it gets people to watch. I get it. But it is weird when he's a kid. It's weird, and I do agree with that. And it definitely is something that makes you be like, do I want to keep watching this? Do I want to be associated with this? You know, right now, I don't know.
Yeah, certainly bad optics is the first thing that comes to mind with a child involved in anime, because you know it's anime. There's sketchy stuff happening all the time. They get put in these weird situations that normal people wouldn't usually involve children in. So it's just, I don't know. Twitter and Reddit have a field days with that conversation all the time, and I just like to stay away from it. So if there's a problematic anime like that, a show like that, probably best to steer clear of it.
Even Case Closed, where the main character, he turns into a child, and and that's also like a major point of the anime, and then there's all these things that are happening with him and the family he's staying with that are just like, haha, he's a child and he's doing all these, like I'm like, no, that's a problem. That's a problem. Yeah. And then there's
triple homicides and all that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and then I was just about to say that. Then all the trauma he's going through, like, oh man, yeah. Yeah, children in anime, man, you can just kind of just see it, and you're just like, look, this ain't gonna be good. I've yet to see one that is like, I mean, top tier. I mean, even Gurren Lagann. I mean, I guess like, oh boy, he was young, but he wasn't.
He goes up though.
I would say, he wasn't the main. Oh, I'm trying to like. Spoiler alert, he was not the main character when he was a child. I put it that way, right?
Yeah, fair.
So, then I don't think it really counts as much.
I mean, I feel like Jobless is a pretty top tier anime. Jobless Reincarnation is a pretty top tier anime. It's just the questionable, facts of it with the ecchi nature of some of it, involving the which is weird, but I don't know. I feel like Jobless is a little different only because of no, it's not different. It's still weird, but it is just very high quality in the fact of just like animation, story, plot outside of that. And it's not like My Maid is Mysterious, where it's like it's kind of like more based around that kind of stuff. Where this, Jobless is kind of more based around adventure, exploring the visuals of all this kind of stuff going on and the process. And the character himself is kind of still growing, as a person in the show, but still definitely the edgy parts of it are weird for certain situations. But I'm like, yeah, especially because like technically he's like in Case Closed, like an adult in a kid's body, which is like then it raises all kinds of weird questions. We're like, is all of this weird?
Yeah.
Or is it more okay because they're an adult, or is it even less okay because they're an adult? It's just weird. But yeah, but again, it's that part of it is what sells a lot of times. So they it's not going to stop happening in anime, but it doesn't make it less weird. But I don't know. Alonso, you got anything similar to that? I don't know.
No, but I'm gonna preface this with what I have with anime. So like, I have a problem where I watch some shows and I just don't have the mental fortitude to finish them off. Like, I've stopped watching shows with only a few episodes, even one episode left. And like, I say I'll go back and finish it, but I never do. Mm-hmm. So that's just one thing. I don't even know why. It's just some sort of mental block. Like Tokyo Revengers, I still have one episode to go in the first season. To Your Eternity, I think I have like 3 episodes. Air Gear, I think I have like 3 episodes. Banana Fish, I think like 4 episodes. But one day I'll get over that block. But going past that, my first red flag is just when an anime has a nonsensical plot that doesn't make sense, no matter how much brain power you put into it. And 2 examples I have here are Girlfriend, and God of High School. Girlfriend was straight garbage, trash. My God, who thought of that shit? You must have a screw loose, something wrong with you. Like, how does that even relate to real life? It don't. It's stupid. God of High School. Like, I only finished that because we were watching it as a group. And even then, while we were watching, I was like, what the hell is this? Why am I still watching this? It
just turned so left.
Yeah, it just took a hard left turn. It made no sense. But it's just like when a show doesn't make any sense, when there's no structure around the story, that's a hard red flag for me. Like, I gotta stop watching. Like, another example of a bad show that had bad execution and a nonsensical plot was a show called Gibier. which is one of the worst animes of all time. And I didn't even make it through the first episode. I just knew it was going to be awful, and I was proven correct by the rankings on my anime list. So it's just like, wow, it's terrible. And there's only 3 shows that I've only quit through during the first episode. It was GBA, Handshakers, and a show called Lance and Masks. And those shows were terrible. They just had terrible plots. Nothing made sense. It's just like, why would you do this to yourself? Why would you even make this? Nobody saw this on the storyboard, and it was like, nah, this don't make no sense. We got to chop this shit. They just put it through, wasting money, time and effort. I don't understand.
Tesla was it Tesla X? Is that what it was?
Tesla Note.
Tesla Note, also terrible. Also the same thing. Yeah. Started out like, oh, this is okay. Then yeah. What is happening? CGI. I was like, what? The guy was just normal. Now it's all CGI. Like, what? So crazy. That is so true. And I do wonder about that. Like at a point, surely someone is like, this doesn't seem very good. And they're just like, yeah, let's go with it anyway. Like, what? Okay, sure. It's crazy.
Yeah. I also know so many that like I'm watching. I'm just like, what happened? What is happening? Like I don't get any of this. And I'm in agreement that that definitely instantly sets it down. I'm like, all right, you're just being random. You're just throwing in elements of anime just to make a show, but not any substance there. So yeah,
right.
There's
anime the anime.
There's one that I watched. What was it? Nexus. What is it called? I can't remember.
Scarlet Nexus.
Scarlet Nexus. Yeah, another one where I'm sitting there watching. I'm like, no, I'm not absorbing any of this. By the end of it, I'm just like, wow, that was weird. And yeah, especially if like in the first episode they throw you in, introduce you to 100 characters, and then like don't explain anything, right? They're just like, all right, we're in it, here's we're right in the middle of a battle and we don't know what's happening, nobody's explained, and then they end the episode like, yeah, as you should know. I'm like, okay, get the hell out of here. I'm done. That's exactly what Scarlet Nexus did. I'm like, I think it's also that thing when there's a game adaptation or like some other adaptation where like you should know like the past stuff. So like, oh, you play the game, so we throw you right in just like it's the game. And I'm like, well, the game element fits a little bit better than not knowing anything and dropping me into an anime. But yeah.
I mean, for sure, there's a lot of anime that do that, and I mean, yes, I definitely am always of the ilk of like, why did you do this? And also, who thought this was like? I'm still stuck on that. Who thought this was a good idea? Who thought someone was going to enjoy that aspect of it? Like, and it's so weird when it's something like God of High School, where it's like, okay, cohesive. Yeah. Like, what? Why did it literally, like God of High School, like just I don't know what happened. It happened because was that the one we literally had to go back the episode before because we're like, wait, did we miss an episode? we thought we missed an episode because it just abruptly changed so quickly between episodes, and there was no explanation. There was never like a flashback or anything. Like there was no explanation until the end. It was like, okay, no, we decided we just wanted to throw really hard hands all of a sudden with everybody. And that's what we wanted to do. And so we did it now. It's like, okay, I guess. Like, that check is crazy. And I don't understand how like that happens. I wouldn't say it's frequent, but frequent enough that I'm like, why are we still doing this? And some anime do it purposely. Like some anime, like there's, like Blood Lot. Blood Lot is purposely a satire. It is meant to be random as freak of just like, it's just like anime the anime, but it's like a satire, so it's meant to just kind of make fun of how anime can be, kind of wild. And that's fine, and kind of like Gintama is like super random, but it's like, it's a joke. It's not made to be serious, but how people make serious animes that are just like the plot is just all over the place. it just is crazy to me, and it's just funny. It's also funny though. Like sometimes I keep watching them because it is just laughable at how crazy the plot is. But sometimes it just becomes so bad you can't even laugh. You're like, okay, this is just a waste of time now. Like I had to stop this for the sake of my own sanity.
I agree. That's how I felt about Scarlet Nexus. Where I was just like, I kept watching it just to kind of make fun of it. Just like it's like I don't know what's happening, and I bet they're gonna do some time travel. And it was like next episode, time travel. And I'm like, well, yeah, I know it. I know it. It don't make no goddamn sense. You're gonna throw some time travel in there. I'm like, okay, but yeah. Mm-mm.
But I mean, yeah. But I think, and thinking, and like when I brought up Tesla Note, like again, it was so like again, it's also like the dramatic change in graphics, where sometimes what happens, like we're gonna get this really nice drawn anime style adaptation of these graphics, and all of a sudden CGI. It's like they wrap you in with this nice stuff, and like, all right, CGI the rest of it. You already 3 episodes in, now we're gonna finish it. It's like no, wait. And that is one of my red flags, is when an anime all of a sudden just goes super deep CGI out of nowhere, especially bad CGI. I mean, we talked about how, like, dang, what's it called? Spider. I forget what the drink is called. Freaking,
So I'm a spider. So what?
yeah, so I'm a spider. So what? Pretty good CGI for the most part. So I was like, okay, fine. But it did do that too. It did that too, where it was like no CGI for like a good couple episodes, and then all of a sudden it was like a lot of heavy CGI. All of a sudden, I was like, okay, hold on, But it was good CGI, so it was not as much of a problem for me. And kind of similarly to Isekai Cheat Skill that came out recently, where it was like it started like no CGI at all, and then started doing more CGI when it got to more action scenes. But again, the CGI was pretty solid, so not too bad. So like, okay, whatever, fine. But wait, oh god, man, like some anime, I can't. Man, there's like some that just are so bad, and like one of them is like that second adaptation of Berserk, right, where they went like all CGI, and I'm just like, why did you take a good thing and make it bad? Like, or just I don't know. Did you lose an animator mid season? You're like, oh, wait, we had a luck. Hold on, we got to put some CGI in this ish, or like have budget cuts mid episode or something. And I'm just like, I don't know. Maybe that's what happened, but I would appreciate an apology for that, for dropping that on me, out of nowhere when I was enjoying their quality anime, and then you just drop some CGI in there, heavy as freak, all of a sudden, and that just takes over the rest of your anime, all CGI. And Tesla Note was definitely one of those, but Tesla Note, it was more than CGI. It was their whole plot just dropped out of, just fell out of the, just fell out of nowhere. I don't know. It had a solid plot for like all of a half an episode, and then just collapsed on itself. But I really just don't like. I don't know. And maybe CGI is the future, and it's not the end of the world, because again, some CGI is good, but I don't think it'll take over the industry. I'm sure there are people that are going to be traditionalists that just don't want to see CGI, and there'll be traditionalists in the industry that will probably want to continue to put out a product that is animated by hand, or as that process goes. And maybe there'll be just more of a mix of some of it, which is okay, because that's moving forward or whatever. But I definitely don't want to see CGI take over as like the predominant platform, because to me that's going to take away from what anime is, literally. So, but yeah, I do not like CGI in general, but there are sometimes done well. But definitely don't play me with the bait and switch.
Yeah, felt the same thing. Black Summoner, that's another one where it was doing okay. Like, I mean, it wasn't the best thing in the world, but it, like, in terms of solid anime, it felt solid. And then as soon as it gets to a fight scene, it cuts into this super like not developed CGI, and I'm like, what is happening, bro? This boy doesn't even have a face anymore. Like they drew this man with a crayon. I don't know what happened. I'm like, damn, man.
Not a crayon,
right? But anyways, so that that definitely took away everything from that anime. I mean, even if it could have been even slightly okay, yeah, CGI really can like make or break something, man. And yeah, I mean, like you said, I feel like with AI and everything, like it's gonna start becoming indistinguishable from like regular art styles, you know, and that's probably good for some people, but like I don't know, I'm like is that well, I guess that's not the conversation we're trying to have, but that is, you know, that's someone's livelihood, you know, doing that
Right.
particular work, and I imagine that they're already in the works of making the AI to make that, you know, make that happen.
Right.
But yeah, I agree. That's a terrible looking. Yeah, I mean, especially first episode by CGI first episode, bro. It's a man.
You're
At,
lazy.
at that point,
You're
it's a
lazy.
50-50 if I'm continuing. Honestly,
Right.
if not if not less, like
Right.
that shit, it's complete turn off for me. Mm-mm.
I remember when Netflix was CGI Central for anime,
Yes.
and it
Right.
instantly turned me off for any anime that Netflix put out. But there's this one show I talked about it before, Kingdom. Um, it's a good
Mm.
show. It's a great show. But the first two seasons, the first season especially, is all CGI, and I was
Mm.
like, I don't know if I could do this because it was like 39
Gosh.
episodes the first season of terrible CGI. Not terrible, but just not good. So the strength of the story is what pulled me in. But man, seeing CGI is, like you said, it's a turn off. I can't handle it. I don't like it. I'm a 2D anime purist per se. I like the hand drawn animation. I love that shit. Good shit, you know. Smash it up. Give it to me to snort it up. But
God.
yeah, that
Drug
CGI
references.
it's stuff I don't like that much. But sometimes you have to suffer through it to get to a good story.
There was this one anime that was all CGI, and remind me what it's called. It was on Netflix. The guy, he can die and he gets reborn.
Ajin.
Ajin, yeah, and Ajin was good. Ajin was
Mm-hmm.
solid, and I was surprised that I even watched it because like I watched like one episode. I was like, no, fuck it, I'm not watching it. Sorry, I can't do it. And then Jordan recommended it, and then you know, my girlfriend at the time was watching it and she recommended it, and I was like, man, all right, I need to maybe I need to watch it. And I watched it and I was like, oh, I mean, yeah, it looks kind of like shit sometimes, but I mean, it's super solid. It was super solid. Mm-mm.
But yeah, I mean, uh, solid. It's solid. We'll see if it ever gets to be a CGI anime that is more than just solid, because
Yeah,
that's where I'm
yeah,
at with it.
yeah. No top, no top. Anybody putting
No,
CGI in their top 10?
no, no, not currently. We'll see what the future holds, but not right now. Mm-mm. But okay, I mean, any other ones for you, Robert?
Oh yeah, yeah. Now the last one is very similar to Alonso when he was saying like in terms of convoluted anime. For me, it's literally if there is a reset in the anime, all right? So like if you're watching something and in the middle of the anime it decides to like no, all what you just did, forget about that. Now here's the new plot. All right, new plot. And especially for something that's like not long, like not supposed to have new plots, new subplots in the middle of the show, right? So again, I mentioned this a million times. I'll mention it again. Roka, Brave of the Six Flowers. Everyone,
God, you hate
for
this
some
one.
reason, I look at it 7.46 on my anime list. I don't know how. I don't know how. I have no idea. Like the beginning, and I'm gonna spoil it a little bit, but not too much, right? In the beginning of the anime, it shows his main character super like interesting. Man has no powers, going against all these people who do have powers. He's one of the flowers. He's gonna go and save the world or whatever the fuck, right? He goes and then apparently there's a seventh flower or whatever the fuck, right? There's another guy there, and there's not supposed to be. There's supposed to be 6 flowers, right? So there are only supposed to be 6 of them. There's a 7th guy there. One of them is lying about being a brave. That person's probably betraying somebody. So, they need to figure that out. I'm like, okay, figure it out. Let's get it done. They're like, okay, we figured it out. It's this guy. He's lying. Figured out. They grab his ass. They're like, yo, bro, you lying, ain't you? And he's like, yeah, I'm lying, but I'm also like, I'm kind of cool. Can we just be chill about it? And he was like, and they were like, yeah, we'll be chill. And then, and then they continue the thing like nothing happened. They were just like, all right, well, he's kind of cool now, so let's just keep going and save the world. And then another person shows up and he says, I'm one of the 6 flowers too. I've been trying to find you guys this whole time, right? And I'm like, no, they're not going to do it again. There's no way that they're going to run this plot again. And they did it again. Hard reset. Hey, there's 7 people now. Now there's 8. Now there's 8 people now. That are supposed to be flowers, and 2 of them were lying. So we need to figure this out. And then they end season. Then they end the show like yep, that was good, right? Like, fuck that shit, dude. I do not like my time wasted. That's the number one thing I hate. Like, if there's a show that is like, even if it's good and if it wastes my time, it goes on the bottom of my fucking list. But the bottom 2 of my list is Gangsta and Roca, Brave of the 6 Flowers. And I'm like, Gangsta is so good, and it made me so mad that it ended with nothing. It built up this boss fight and didn't do anything. It's just like, hey, this power, that's cool, right? This power, this is cool, right? Hey, this guy, he's awesome, right? Let's go and fight. And then they end the show and not make anything else from it. I hate that shit. Don't waste my time. Do not waste my time. That's out of anything anime can learn, especially nowadays that like everything's becoming like one season shit, right? That like put it all in. Like, go ahead. You're not going to make more money, unless it's a bad show, and then you're not going to get renewed. So you might as well go all in anyway, right? So I'm just like, I don't know. It's like, to me, it seems like this is a good show, and they're likely not going to renew it. So go ahead and go all in. Why not? What are you wasting? Like, I don't know, man. I hate that shit. Don't waste my time.
Well, I remember when Robert said at the beginning of this
podcast. That's why I wrote.
And here we are.
I knew I was going to talk about this particular thing. This is the reddest of red flags now, forever. Clearly. As soon as I feel like, oh, this is a reset coming, I can feel you wasting my time. I'm on episode 11 of 12, and nothing has happened. I hate you.
Just yelling at the screen for 30 minutes.
Such a fucking waste, man.
I mean, it's not fun. I don't love it. I don't love it at all. And it then leaves you just hoping for hope's sake that maybe one day it'll get a second season. And I don't like that feeling, but I mean, some people do it because they want you to read the manga, get the manga sales up. But you can also get to a better stopping point, and I would still read the manga, cause I'm just saying, like, okay, better stopping point. Maybe it didn't resolve the whole story, but you got to a decent stopping place, then I can go on. And yes, a lot of people should do that better and be more considerate of the watcher and the viewer. I don't know, but I don't know if that's some people's. Maybe your red flag and I also think it's a red flag. Maybe that red flag is a green flag for someone and more people, and maybe that's why that they keep doing that, because I think it's stupid. I mean, but we're not the only viewers in the world, so
it's like also like imagine if like any anime could have like a original Full Metal kind of end, right? It's just like, all right. We're working on it. here's a super weird end episode that we're not going to explain until we try to renege everything on a movie. All right. I'm like, I don't like that stuff. I'm like Yeah, and maybe like you're saying, it needs to be. It's so that hey, this is their source of material for this, so go read that, and then
Right.
you'll see why why it is.
Film it.
But like, I don't think that's also the purpose of anime, right? In general, is to just be
Right.
like, we made this medium so that you can go do another medium. Like I don't know. I feel like that would be weird. It's like,
Yeah, it shouldn't be.
like here's the like, especially like, I mean, I know this is an American way of thinking, but like movies in general, right? It's just like, here's a Harry Potter movie so that you go read the book. It's like, I don't know, like maybe to an extent, but like definitely not. They're like, here's a movie so that you watch the next movie, so that so that we get more money out of you.
True.
Alonzo, what has there been any? Oh, you know what we talked about before? K.
Ah, yes.
and like, look, and maybe I need to get past the skip to feel okay. But I remember watching, like, Alonzo. How many episodes was it? I can't even remember.
I think it was like 6 or so. I can't remember.
Yeah, 6 episodes, and then hard cut, hard reset. All of that was just a dream, or whatever the fuck he said. I'm like, oh man, like, don't do that. Don't do that. I'm getting out.
But,
I mean, okay, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Matt.
No. Go ahead. I got to defend K, but I want to hear what you say first.
I was going to help into my next red flag because it directly relates to Robert's Recess. So you go ahead.
Okay. So really quick, in fairness to K, it does have multiple seasons and a movie. So it does, so it gets past that part and does explain, and I don't know, it kind of foreshadows that from like ep 1 or 2, to be honest. Like, if you look at it, it almost has no choice but to basically become that, to be honest. So I'm like, if you're paying attention, anyway, I'm just saying. And I just because I love K also. It is gorgeous. The plot is unique and different.
That's the only thing.
It is gorgeous.
That's it.
It is gorgeous. The plot is unique and different. In my, well, you know what? Fine. You know what? Next red flag, man. I'm not defending K on this platform. K is what it is, man.
Viewers, tell us what you think about K in the comments below. But anyway,
look, man, if y'all want to argue about K, find me.
These, man.
I got a couple K's for you. Let's go.
But directly relating to Robert's red flag about resets, my red flag is when there's an abrupt change to the story, and it's just not as interesting as it was when it first started. So one example I had was Platinum End. So it had a decent enough premise to have me watch it, but halfway through, spoiler alert, they killed the main villain, and I lost all interest. Like, I stopped watching right after that episode where they killed him. I was like, I'm not watching any more of this. Like, because I remember Death Note, and I'm just like, this is just like when they killed L. Like, spoiler alert again. Like, there's no point in me watching this. I of course finished Death Note, but it wasn't the same without L. So I'm just like, why are you showing me this greatness, showing me this goodness, and then taking away the main characters? Same thing with Gurren Lagann that we just talked about earlier. Like, I mean, sure, it's still a top tier anime, but damn, out of left field, they took the guy out. They just murdered him. Just like, damn. Like,
that's true.
And
it's an irrelevant jigger.
Mm-hmm. So whenever there's an abrupt change to the story, I'm just not feeling it most of the time. I feel that with K too as well. There's maybe some other anime, but yeah,
the K hatred is real.
I definitely agree with that. I think what was the there was the day I became God, the other one that I've been on my soapbox about recently, and that was another one that like, hey, this has super solid story arc or whatever, and yeah, and it was good premise and everything, and then you know, last few episodes they hit a hard turn, and it turns into like Hospice, the anime, and I'm like, what is this? Like this is awful. Like, how can I enjoy this? Like, this is just on all fronts awful. But yeah, like, Finna the Pirate Princess. That's another one where where like at the very like near the end, it was like, okay, this can't be about this now, right? And it's like, yep,
right.
she's now a goddess or whatever she is. I'm like, okay, this is dumb. This is dumb. Yeah, so dumb. I mean, you know what's funny? I think it is hard for like comedies to stay one-sided, like one topic, right? Especially for comedies, I think it's like, but because of the comedy, we don't expect it like that anyway. But I think for anything that's like a like a normal thing, then or like any other genre, honestly, then it ends up if you make any hard turns that are against the normal flow of the anime, then yeah, it's like, might as well, like, it's like I might as well stop watching then. I'm like, I was only watching for the only kept me engaged because of the first part.
Right. Yeah, I think I don't know. I think sometimes anime tries super hard to be different, and that they get stuck in that thing of like, I gotta do something so outrageous that they don't expect it. And then that's going to be like, oh, this anime is going to get them talking. They're going to be like, oh, this is crazy. I didn't expect that. And I'm like, yeah, it might be unexpected, but doesn't mean it's in a good way. If someone could unexpectedly leave some crap in front of your door, but it doesn't mean it's a good surprise. Like, I don't want it there. Like, it's still crap. It's still crap. I don't want it in front of my door, but it's unexpected. Yes, it is unexpected. So like, unexpected does not mean good. And I think sometimes these animators are like, yes, unexpected means good. Not necessarily. I get it, especially in this day and age where there's so many animes, like anime saturation coming out season by season. You used to not be this many anime coming out per season, especially good anime. So you especially feel like you gotta release something really good when there's like how to get, is it wrong to pick up a girl in Dungeon season 35 coming out, and then you can compete with that, and you're in a brand new up and coming anime, you're like, oh, I gotta do something different, so I do get it, but does not make it good. Doesn't make me want to keep watching it. Doesn't make me want to go back and watch season 2 if it does come out. Like I said, if girlfriend gets a season 2, I mean, if Rental Girlfriend, I still haven't watched the next season because I am still stuck on how annoyed I was at the end of the last season. Like, so, and yeah. And I mean, basically, I don't want to talk about my red flag because basically it's a combination of everything y'all have already said. So it's like, yeah, I mean, I feel like, again, with these things, it's just like we could make them really good sometimes, and sometimes they've already made it good, and they just have to stay on the same track. But it's like they just want to, like, they just don't want to take the easy way out. Like, they just wanted to make it more complex. Like, we could do this, or we could do something totally different. And just like, yeah, let's do that. And I'm like, but why? Why do something totally different when what you're doing right now is already very good? Like, makes no sense. But they do it a lot, and it's pointless.
There's a Bo Burnham joke that is similar to there, where he's playing this like new song, and it's like all these beats overlaid and like all this sound, and he grabs the mic and he just farts in it, and he's like, original does not mean good. It's just like, yeah. I mean, it's saying exactly what you're saying. I'm like, yeah, there's so many times now especially now where it's like it's so overly saturated that they're like, how do we do what they did but more or like different and somehow it's like, oh, we'll make this huge, shift in the middle of the show and that'll really get them.
Right.
Like imagine
Right.
you watching any show and it turns into another genre. Would you ever be okay with that? I'm like, I don't know. Like, I
Right.
say I wouldn't. I know there's like plenty of comedies, like sitcoms and stuff that do that. And they're like, hey, we'll get real serious. Like Fresh Prince when he's, the daddy stuff. It's just like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. I felt that. I was like, oh man, that's really cool that they did that. But then if I'm watching just a super, especially anime doesn't really do that normally. So it's like to expect, hey, I'm this genre and then swap. Nope, I'm actually this genre, and you need to be okay with that. Like, well, that's not why I clicked. That's not why I clicked.
Yes,
like,
I clicked.
it's like honestly, uh, Madoka. Like, imagine that, right? Imagine you clicking Madoka and you're like, I want to watch magical girl anime, and then you end up watching fucking this crazy shit,
Horror.
right?
Horror
Yeah.
come up.
Yeah. So,
Like, imagine your daughter pick that up. Oh, this is cool. We can watch it with my daughter. God, like, oh, cover your eyes, dear. Like,
to me, it just seems crazy that they even think that would sell, or be, whatever.
it got people to talk.
Right.
It got people to talk.
That's true.
Maybe sometimes that's just maybe that is all they're looking for. Sometimes it's like, let's just get people to talk.
Yeah.
I just want people to recognize that this is its own thing, even if it's not good. And some people are like, what's the saying? Any publicity is good publicity, sort of thing. It's like, well, I'm getting publicity from it, and people might read the manga, or they might pick up some merch, or they might, like Darius talks about it all the freaking time,
He
so like,
Madoka, yeah.
yeah, right. So, and again, again, it has maybe its own cult following of like kind of weird, but it's its own thing, and that's enough for the creator, So I don't know, but speaking of following, man. Speaking of following, social media has people following all sorts of women these days. Speaking of abrupt shifts.
Oh my god. That was the most related change right there. That was good.
But I say this to preface it that I think that it gives you even more, I don't know, it gives you even more access to the things you like. You know what I'm saying? So like if you're a guy and you like, sporty women, it gives you access to all sorts of sporty women across the globe. If you like guys, you like, very prissy anime-esque sort of women that like cosplay, all sort of stuff. Plenty of that all over social media, right? But I think it also does the opposite thing and it lets you see a lot of things that you don't like and figure that out too without having to necessarily experience it in life, which is maybe another underrated thing about social media is that you can kind of find things you don't like and figure out what you don't like and then be like, okay, I don't like that much. I can kind of relate this back to my real life and maybe avoid this thing or find these kind of red flags, I guess, that I see online. Maybe not always the best thing. Again, red flag does not mean don't approach at all, but again, gives you things to be like, okay, maybe I wouldn't like that, And I think, again, it goes back to everyone deserves to have their own preferences. But I do think like it's definitely a thing that people need to be aware of and we take a little more recognition of, especially as you get older and you're like, looking for people around you in general, not just of the opposite sex, people in general that you want to keep around you, kind of be a little more aware of the red flags. I don't know. But at least for me, I think the older we get, the more we have to lose. So it's time to be a little more selective in the people we keep around, in the company we keep, I guess. Yeah. Would you agree?
I definitely agree. Gotta be selective. Gotta know what you want. But and even I can already go ahead and do mine. Look, we don't have enough time, and I'm amazed that you still started it. How much time we had left? But anyways, um, I think the first thing, I mean, which is weird to say, but like, if the the other person, right, person you're interested in, if they're super into uh like like family things, like if they have to do everything with someone else of their associated bubble thing, I do not like that. I think for some reason it is big turn off now, and like previous people I've dated have been just like that, where they're like, all right,
Mm.
hey, let's go out to eat. Well, I'm gonna bring my sister, and I'm gonna bring my this, and I'm gonna bring my this. I'm like, okay, I didn't want to do that. And then it's like like every instance of that. It's like, oh, let's go to the movies. And it's like, all right, well, I'm gonna bring my this, I'm gonna bring my this, I'm gonna bring my this. I'm like, I want to take you out on a date. You. Is there any, just you? Is that okay? It's like, I don't know. Like, I now I see that that's a red flag, right? That like, oh, impossible to do anything alone with this person. That's probably a red flag. There, so
Right. I would I would agree because for one, I ain't trying to pay for all y'all.
Right?
So
Oh
don't
my
do
god, dude. And that's
Like-
exactly how it was too. Going in there, just like, oh yeah, I'm like, and none of y'all brought a wallet. Me, huh?
The only time they don't have a purse.
You're not working. I know you're not paying. You're not working. Okay, just me. Okay, like that's fucking
Just me.
wild, dude.
Ah, man, that is just, and women know that, and they'll take advantage of that. Not every woman, I'm gonna be clear, not every woman, but a lot of women will know that. Like, oh, this guy likes me. He likes me enough. He will also pay for my friend. Or if I order a second thing, be like, oh, I got a roommate at home that's all sad and she's not on a date. Can I order something for her? And like, okay, sure, we done whatever. Second meals and ish. And I'm like, don't let that be me. Don't let that be me, man. Because I'm like, yeah, you can order it. And when the check come, oh yeah, separate checks. Oh yeah, separate checks. Because she ordered two things. So she had her own date. she had her own date. So she can pay for hers. And
One
her
of them
friends.
entrees got to be separate checked.
Because the even number of people here, it could be an odd number of entrees. Can't work like that, my friend. Not at all. So I am just saying, I think that's a very reasonable one, and I think especially when we're younger, right? We don't. I don't know. We're like, oh, they want to be safe. They're maybe it's a good thing because they want to bring their family around me. That's cool. That's nice. But then as you get older, you're like, hold on. Okay. For one, are you codependent on someone, which is weird by itself as an adult? Why are you codependent on someone? You should be able to do things by yourself. Then for two, are you that scared of me? Am I that scary to you that you need, extra backup? Then maybe we just shouldn't go, like that's an option too, until you are comfortable. Maybe just talk on the phone or freaking FaceTime, whatever else, until you are comfortable, and I'm just like, but if it is just that you want to get an extra meal or an extra ticket for your friend or your sister or whoever, that ish is effed up. And I don't appreciate it. Even if I got the money for it, doesn't mean I want to spend it on that. I got Amazon if I want to spend recklessly, not your sister. Like unless it's that kind of date.
Oh Lord.
No, that's weird. But but really though, if I want to spend recklessly, I can do that on my own. I don't need you to help me spend recklessly.
Yeah, I feel like that's a very respectable red flag, Robert. Like Matt was saying, if you're scared of me, why would you even accept to go out with me? Like that would be my first thought. Like, you're scared of a big person like me. Why would you even attempt to even go out, even if you're bringing other people? Like, don't waste my time. Don't waste my money. No, get out of here with all that mess.
All right. Don't waste my time. Has to be the
yup.
quote of the past today. Don't waste my time.
Yeah, don't waste my fucking time.
We ain't got time for that no more, man. We in our late 20s, early 30s. I ain't got time for that no more, man. That's teenage time, man. Golly, man. Okay, man. I don't know. Should we finish this? Should we table this discussion? That was a really good start, though. Gosh, it was a really good start. I don't know. You want to keep going? Should we keep going?
I mean,
I think keep going.
Yeah, I can't be the only one to say something. I can't be the only one to cancel.
Leave Robert alone on the island. All right, he said something. Let's go.
Damn.
Close up shop. All right, go ahead, Alonso. You got one.
I'll keep it to one. Keep it short. Basically, like even though I said women don't deserve me, like, but I don't deserve women. But anyway, if they don't respect my boundaries, and that's kind of like well within when a relationship's already well established. But even then, even in that time, you got to respect my boundaries. And even then, I can still break up with you and leave you and all that mess. Because I'm a man, I need space. I need literal physical space. I need figurative time space, relationship space. Whatever space you're selling, I want that space. I want it. I'm no Casanova. I ain't had nobody teach me what it means to love. But, like being all lovey-dovey, having all the PDA, I don't think I can handle that for extended periods of time. So not to say I won't be grateful that somebody would give me the time of day in the first place. But, I mean, you got to know some players can't play a full game. Some players sit on the bench, come in fresh,
That's so good. You got to be the sixth man.
Exactly. Sixth man of the year. Give me some time, coach, but not too much time. You know what I'm saying? 20, 30 minutes off the bench, I'm good to go. But, if you can't respect my space or get all hissy over me not being all affectionate, that's a you problem, not me problem, you excessive bitch,
That joke got personal for a second. He had someone right in front of him. He was like, man,
Brittany, I'm talking to you. How dare you?
Apologies to any Britneys out there. It's the first thing that came.
We're gonna get canceled over Brittany.
Oh God. I hope not, man. Hope not. And forgive us, Brittany.
But that is a good one, and yeah, and on a solid one. Like, yeah, I mean that's on both sides. You need to both establish boundaries and keep those held. I mean, I agree with that. And yeah, and then I think the other thing is too, like, to that extent, making sure that you realize that, like, you two are different people, right? Like, there's so many times where it's just like, oh, but I do this, and I, I allow you to do this, so why can't I, it's like, well, we established these boundaries, right? And here are my boundaries. You had no, your boundaries were different, right? It's like for instance, like, I mean, dox myself a little bit, but like one of my, my recent girlfriend, she would go on my phone, right, and go through my phone, and I'm completely okay with that, because I was like, I have nothing to hide. I was like, I got nothing in there. Fair. and also,
Black men don't cheat. Black men don't cheat.
If I wanted to hide it, you would never be able to find it. I'm very technical savvy, okay? But anyways.
I got it.
But and then I did the same thing for her, right? I would grab her phone, and then she'd be like, "Why are you doing that?" And like be questioning me, and I'd be like, "I mean, you did this for me, so I assumed I could do it for you." And she was kind of just like, no, I mean, I have my personal things in there, and I have, like that kind of thing. And I'm like, all right. So it seems like our boundaries are different, right? But it turned out that it was like, it was more like she wrote personal notes to herself that she didn't want me to, know about all the the things that she was going through. But still, I'm just like, it's good to now know, and I'm saying that was a learning experience. That like, oh, we have different boundaries and stuff. We're different people. Understood. Right. Good shit.
Right. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I think definitely. I mean, until we are married, we are not needing to be in the same space too frequently. Right. Like, obviously, we are probably going to be, if we're dating, around each other more often than not. But if we're hanging out with someone, it's probably each other, sort of thing. But I mean, yeah, I think for me personally, the people I've spoken to, I think it's important to have separate spaces. Like, okay, if you get into a fight and then you got to be stuck in like the same quarters, I feel like it's going to magnify everything, right? Like, at least if you can go to your separate places, be like, okay, cool down, separate places, and be like, all right, that was kind of dumb. That was probably nothing that big. And then both of you can kind of reconvene like later in the day or like the next day and be like, all right, that was kind of stupid. Are we good? We're good. All right, cool. But like, if you're stuck in the same space, it's just like a constant reminder of the thing that made you annoyed. And it's just going to keep bubbling, And then, maybe they freaking leave a pot out, or they leave their plate after they finish eating dinner or something. And then it's like, oh, okay, now it's another thing for them to just, get more, incrementally more upset, about. And it's just like knowing that individually they wouldn't care, but because it's like this thing already on their mind, they're going to get more upset, I think space in general is good to have, like a physical space to kind of separate, especially for those sorts of times. But then also, I think it's also kind of like, obviously I think long distance isn't ideal, but like having some distance between you does make it a little bit, fonder every time you see them, like kind of absence makes the heart grow fonder sort of thing. I think space is good. Like, people sometimes think space is a bad thing. I think a healthy amount of space is good. I mean, again, don't want you living in like freaking Spain and I live in America, ideally, but like, yeah, still good if we have some healthy amount of space. So yeah, I think that's a good one for sure. And yeah, unfortunately, I think emotional boundaries and stuff too. I do think it's a little weird sometimes if they're like alternating, like we have different, everybody have different boundaries, but I think that needs to be like a discussion earlier on. But for sure, if someone is like not able to abide by that at all, is definitely like, why are you so inhibited in like your ability to like detach, again, like that's like, oh, are you like a codependent person? Like, you just need a person to attach to and become a part of, like I've met people that are like serial relationship people. Like, there is not a point of time longer than like a week or two where they're out of a relationship for any point of their adult life. And I'm like, there's no way you're like finding someone good that frequently, that often, every 6 months you're able to find another person that you're really connect with every 6 months for like 10 years. Come on, dude. Like, there's no way, like, to me, that is just like a sign. Yeah, for sure. Like, this person could be super codependent, super like super just dependent on people in general, or just like, just has maybe some deeper rooted issues going on. Don't want to psychoanalyze people here, but just saying, I don't know. Could definitely be problematic. But my initial red flag is something much simpler than both of you guys. And it is a fondness of firearms. To any woman that has a no.
I agree with that. Damn.
I mean, if you feel the need to post this on your profiles, your Instagrams, you at the shooting range, you feel like you got to post tweets and messages about, you keep it on you, you got it in your purse. Like, I'm like, look, man, I don't want no smoke at all. So if you gotta make sure to know that you got it on, you gotta make sure everybody know that you got some things you got going on. Maybe you got somebody chasing you. Maybe you got some stalkers. Maybe you got some FBI on your tail or somebody in the mafia on you. I don't know what you got going on, but I ain't trying to get in no shootouts. So you keep that up with you. Enjoy your firearms. I'll be over here without said problems. I like staying without holes. So that's how I prefer my body, in one piece. Just like Luffy, one piece. Okay. So
I agree with that. Yeah, 100%. And like, I mean, we talked about this before. Death sex ratio. I mean,
yeah.
soon as you bring out a gun, man, that shit goes high as hell on that death ratio. Okay, I am not trying to die. But and then yes, back to what you were saying. I mean, I don't know anyone who's into guns who doesn't have a problem. You know what I mean? Like have a problem that needs a gun. you know, like and that's scary, right? It's like especially women, I think, it's just like, oh yeah, one day this happened and somebody, and I had to get a gun. And I'm like, oh well, now I am around you and you need a gun. I don't like that. Now I need a gun. Like,
and I need a bigger gun than you.
Right? No. It was just like, I completely agreement. That is crazy, and that is easy to just know those people because they make that known most of the time.
Very known.
And yeah, easy to avoid those people.
Like the plague.
Yeah. You don't like women exercising their Second Amendment rights, especially on the eve of July 4th, Independence Day? Come on, man. Nah, I completely agree. Like, there's nothing on this earth like where you really need a gun for anything. You can find it out with fists or knives or anything. Guns way too dangerous. I don't know. Like, if you need a gun while you're with me, like, I'm going to be scared for my life all hours of the day. You can turn crazy at any moment. Like, right. I ain't trying to mess with that.
Yeah, I've heard statistics about, like, most gun violence is domestic. And I'm like,
right.
Oh, that shit. No, you ain't killing me.
Right. Like, I get it. It's a scary world up there, especially for women. I get it. I freaking understand. But, like, I mean, let's both take self-defense classes together. Let's, go learn, Aikido or freaking, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, some age. Let's learn how to beat people's tails. So we can tag team people. Fine, like, I get that, learn how to disarm people, okay, fine, I get it. But I'm just like, man, like, it's just too much that can go wrong. You digging in your purse one day, man, I'm trying to find my keys. Pooh, oh, my spleen. Like, no, I just like, oh my God, I get it. And I don't want to, like, rob anyone of feeling safe. If that's what you feel like you need to do to feel safe, I get it. But I don't feel safe if that's what it takes for you to feel safe. Then I'm scared all the time for my life. Because, like you said, I just, like, again, if it's something, like I said, if something happened to you that makes you feel like you need that, then it's like, okay, what if I do one day just like want to throw a surprise party or something for you? Just want to do something, something nice, a little surprise, like. Surprise! Bing, 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 bing. I was like, oh, really my grandma! My grandma, the dog, I got you. I thought you wanted it, dog. Like, again,
she could kill you right then and there and get manslaughter or some shit, right? She ain't getting first degree. And she could be plotting it the whole time. You just like, oh yeah, happy birthday. Oh yeah, fucking shoot your ass on her birthday, and then
okay. Let me stop. Headshot, bing.
I was scared for my life.
I understand. Yeah, I get. Like I said, I get it. That's what you feel like you need to do to stay safe. I'm not gonna rob anyone of their feeling doing that. I just don't want no parts of it. That's all. Everyone has their preferences, everyone has their rights. Do what you want to do what you feel like you got to do, but leave me out of it. When it comes to guns, leave me out of it. But man, without us risking going over, I'm gonna take my shot at moving on here and taking us into extra time.
Oh, this extra time, let's go! All right. So we're still in the dog days of sports summer. Hell, still not a lot going on. But NBA free agency started this week. Dudes are getting paid. One guy named Tyrese Halliburton and LaMelo Ball got paid $260 million for 5 years. That is a ridiculous amount of money. I can't even imagine it just to play basketball. And these guys are young, so they're going to be making even more money on their second contracts, third contracts, fourth contracts. These guys are going to be billionaires by the time they're done. I can't believe it. This dude named Damian Lillard for the Blazers, he finally asked to be traded from the team. He's been loyal to a fault, but he's finally on his way out. So good. Congratulations to him. Simone Biles, the gymnastics star, she's returning to competition for the first time since the Tokyo Olympics in 2021. You know, she's a 7-time Olympic medalist. She's competing at the U.S. Classic. It's one of the marquee events for USA Gymnastics. So we'll see how she does because she took part in the Tokyo Olympics, but she didn't really do anything because she sat out most of it due to mental health struggles. So we'll see if she's back at the top of her game. Let's see. There's a guy named Domingo German of the Yankees. He pitched a perfect game versus Oakland Athletics. Perfect game is when the starting pitcher faces 27 hitters, which is the minimum amount, and they don't allow a hit, a walk, a hit by pitch, or an error. The last perfect game was in 2012, so this guy did something amazing. Few people have ever done it in baseball, so congratulations to him. But I wanted to talk about ESPN layoffs because layoffs, they are a fact of life. And some franchise cornerstones like Jeff Van Gundy for basketball, Suzy Kolber for football, and Todd McShay for college football have been let go. You know, Disney owns ESPN, has been trying to cut costs for a long while now. Now, for us, you know, we're less than 10 years into our careers, so we don't have much experience. But how would y'all feel about being laid off or hearing that your company is doing layoffs? Because, like, last week I found out my company was doing a mini layoff at the building I work at, and it kind of got me concerned because, you know, no work is ever guaranteed in the USA. And they were able to pull off the firings without the whole building finding out and causing a panic. So I was like, yo, if they can do that quietly, they could do that to any time. But I mean, I bought a house, I got mad debt, so I will do anything in my power to not get laid off. But how would y'all feel?
Yeah, I mean, I'm right with you, and I think my company did the same thing, or my department did end up doing the same thing, where there was layoffs. I think not last year, but the year before. But yeah, and they kind of just were like, yeah, we're doing restructuring, and just fucking you gone, you gone, you gone. You moved down from manager to engineer and like all this other shit. And I was like, oh man, like that's crazy. Like I can't imagine being in like that high a position and end up being like, you know, moved. Like that's kind of crazy. But you know, for them, they probably don't end up even getting a pay cut or anything. They just give them a position change. But anyways, I mean, I am scared of it. Yes, random layoffs. I'm scared of it, but at least I know that like my particular department is pretty solid. Like he ain't got no like the my boss doesn't have any help for his particular job, and so we ain't going nowhere. Like I highly doubt that. But um, but yeah, I mean, that's still like always a fear, and like you don't know what your boss is doing behind the scenes, right? He could be hiring a new person, you know, to take your job at any point in time, and you won't know it. And yeah, like that's just, I mean, what can you do? And maybe there's like also incentive there, right? Where they're just like, oh well, then you'll work harder, right? It's like then you'll make a name to keep you in, you know.
Yeah,
I'm like, that's fucking, I don't know, that's dumb.
yeah, yeah. That's a tough one. Yeah. My particular position is highly unlikely to have layoffs because of how short staffed it is consistently, especially where I work. It is consistently short staffed. They cannot afford to be firing people. But I mean, of course, it's worrying. I mean, I am shocked at the ESPN ones, though. I didn't hear about these. So, Jeff Van Gundy is crazy. Todd McShay, is almost unbelievable to me. Like that's insane. Like he seems like he's undroppable. Like it's literally him and freaking what's the with the glasses and the jump freak Mel, yeah. Todd McShay and Mel are college football. They are college football. Like Todd. Like that being gone is crazy, man. Oh my God, no more Todd. Oh my gosh, man. That's crazy. And yeah, I mean, it really does make you just think like, dang, you're never just safe, are you? Unless it's your job. You know, like you made the job, you know, maybe you are, but that's crazy, man. I don't know. Like, I think at the end of the day, it just comes down to be good enough at your job that you can get another job. and that's as much as you can hope for. So that's kind of where I'm at. And where I'm at now is like the place where I'm at is not, you know, it's fine, but like I said, it's always short staffed for several reasons. But my view on it is be as good as I can be at this job so that, you know, I can go to the next job and be like, well, I can go to the next job, and if this job has an issue, I can go to another job without an issue because I have always done my job well. So I will never have an issue getting another job, you know. And of course, save your money so you have enough that you can transition if it takes a little while. But I mean, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you can't live your life in fear of anything like that. You just got to kind of just do the best you can with what you got. And life happens. If it happens, it happens. I am positive Todd McShay and those guys have made more than enough money. I mean, Jeff Van Gundy, I mean, he was a coach before that too. So those guys are multimillionaires. I am unconcerned about them and their lifestyles after this. They're fine, you know, but is it kind of shocking? Yeah, kind of shocking. And would it be, and again, I think even in my job, which is weird. I'll say this about the whole layoffs things. Sometimes, again, even though we're short staffed, they will still fire people. In positions we're already short staffed in. And I'm just like, beggars can't be choosers, dude. Like, I get they're not that great, but there's something. They're a body, you know, they're a body that can actually somewhat do the job. We just got to take it, dude. We just got to take it. And sometimes, like, yeah, you need someone to fill out the roster sometimes. And, but sometimes they still want to fire dudes, you know, and that's crazy to me that people sometimes put themselves in, some of these businesses will put themselves in a seemingly bad position by firing people that you would be like, that doesn't really make sense for whatever reason they make up to do it. But again, like I said, it just comes down to doing the best you can with your job and then just being prepared for any eventuality so that whatever happens, you can still be in an okay position. But sucks is a reality for sure.
My company one time, they ended up firing a bunch of people. Then the next year was COVID, and then they ended up losing a bunch of people because not to death, but because they started retiring. They were older people, so they were like, all right, I'm not staying for COVID. I'm not staying in this job for COVID. So I'm either going to work from home. If you're not going to let me do that, I'm retiring early. And so then we lost a bunch of people, and now we're like underspent in budgets and stuff because we got people. We need people in the seats. So it's like, it's crazy. I was like, you know, you think laying off is going to make the company money, and then it's just like, well, now we ain't doing our job.
Right.
So yeah, it's
no.
I don't know.
Sometimes I question the people that are in charge of these things. Yeah. Like, are we smarter than people in charge? Sometimes we are.
Go to the top and just be like, bro, what the fuck are you thinking, dude? What the fuck are you? Come do my job for a day and realize you giving us less money is not good.
Yeah, right? This is America, as Childish Gambino said. But this is America, and July the 4th is coming up, so happy Independence Day to everyone. Hope you get a nice day off of work, I hope. If you don't, I'm sorry. And I'll be hoping that somehow that day doesn't suck if you don't get it off. But until then, we appreciate you watching and listening. Thanks for procrastinating with us. We out.
Bye.